seen?
You should be.
There's actually a microphone behind you.
Okay,
What do you want to do? Well, from the Dutch side, we're doing about 4. But all of my friends in the art, I would say everybody has whatever. Let's say you spend.
I'm working on fixing the house first before it falls apart.
I was going to go to Aspen. I never made it. Nice to meet you. Sorry I couldn't go.
I think that's good. Can you understand me? What I'm going to sing now is going to be a song that's absolutely appropriate to the moment, because there are many people here who are keenly aware of the fact that we are within spitting distance difference. That's good. That's the
Well, we got you now before any more drinks. That's the point, okay?
Because of the boat and the proximity of the Statue of Liberty. This is good. I want it just like that. Because of the boat and the Statue of Liberty, I want to sing you a song that... this is not... We don't want to tighten this. We all know is a really loose cannon. It has to be celebrated, so here's a song. The reason I am is because the person who wrote it was predictive. And you'll see what I mean here. Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen to me. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the foreigners you hate are the very same people made America great. What was that? Made America great in 1947. And this Italian said, out across the sea, he said, Isabella, baby, the world is round. The USA's just waiting to be found. Well, Isabella, look, I know, I look through the telescope. And there are people there, yeah, I know, but they're not people, they're indigenous, and we don't care about them, do we? So we're going to disregard them, and I discovered this place, there was nobody there of consequence. Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen to me. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the foreigners hate the very same people made America great. Well, in 1492, a helicopter came before its time, but it had the same name. It flew above us, and we said, oh gee. And then we went back to the song, and the sea went on his boat.
Yeah, there for a long time.
We were together, and we did float, and there was a reason for that, you see. He took care of his boat for you and me. Well, listen, Mr. Big, listen to me. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the foreigners you hate are the very same people made America great. Well, Bigot. In 1492, just see what, I mean, when the Queen of England, when the King of England started pushing the Yanks around, they had a little trouble in Boston town. There was a brave Negro, Christmas Addicts was the man, first one to fall when the fight began. Yeah, listen, Mr. Bigot, see, this is for the statue. Where is she? Where is my...
She's over there somewhere. Where'd she go?
Where's my
there she
sweetie?
There.
Okay, now here we are. We're going to do it like we did at Occupy Wall Street. Sorry about that, folks. You say, you repeat after me, because it starts like this, because we didn't have the amplifying equipment, so somebody would say, mic check, and everybody would repeat, mic check, let's try it. Mic check.
Mic check.
I would like you
I would like you
to learn the words
to learn the words
to the chorus of this song.
to the chorus of this song.
Listen, Mr. Bigot.
Listen, Mr. Bigot.
Listen to me.
Listen to me.
I'll give you a lesson
I'll give you a lesson
in history.
in history.
In history.
History.
Listen while I tell you
Listen while I tell you
that the foreigners you hate
that the foreigners you hate
are the very same people, are the very same people, the very same people made America great, and made America great. Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen to me, give you a lesson. Give you a lesson in history. Will you stop looking at your cameras and start singing the song? Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen to me. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the very same people made America great. Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen. I'll give you a lesson. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the very same people made America great. Now, Bigot, you're taking a hell of a chance. Your good friends, the DuPonts, came over from France. Another thing I'm sure will be news to you. The first Mr. Bigot was a foreigner too. Mr. Bigot, listen, I'll give you a lesson. I'll give you a lesson in history. Tell you, listen while I tell you that the very same people made America great. Well, you don't like Negroes, you don't like Jews. Anything you do like it sure is news. You don't like Poles, Italians, Catholics too. Anyway, they serve you up, we're not terribly fond of you. Mr. Bigot, I'll give you a lesson. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the foreigners you hate, the very same people made America great. Listen, Mr. Bigot, listen to me. I'll give you a lesson in history. Listen while I tell you that the foreigners you hate, the very same people made America great. Yeah. Now, look, we're out at sea, and right? Okay. It's a secret. Look, does anybody here feel a little funny when somebody says, "That's the law, buddy"? And does you ever have the impulse to say, "Yeah, but it wasn't the law"? You know, the law is not immutable. And if you have that feeling, let me sing this song and I'll tell you why. Okay. Was it Caesar Chavez?
Yes.
Or Rosa Parks that day? Some say Dr. King or Gandhi that set them on their way. No matter who your mentors are, it's pretty plain to see that if you've been to jail for justice, you're in good company. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom or marched the picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. You law-abiding citizens, come listen to this song. 'Cause laws were made by free people, and people can be wrong. Once unions were against the law, but slavery was fine. Women were denied the vote, and children worked the mines. The more you study history, the less you can deny it. The rotten law stays on the books till folks with guts defy it. Folks with guts defy it. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom? March the picket line. Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Well, the law's supposed to serve us, and so are the police.
Right, well.
But when the system fails, it's up to us to speak our piece. We must be ever vigilant for justice to prevail. So get courage from your convictions and let them haul your pretty ass to jail. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom to march the picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Have you been to jail for justice? Have you been to jail for justice? Have you been to jail for justice? I mean, then you're a friend of mine, yeah? It was the law in a few minutes, because we're going to change it. Now, having said all that, there are other things to discuss when we're on the water. The Statue of Liberty has its magic charms, but we have other things to deal with. For one thing, we have magic. Do we have magic? Let's hear it from magic. Magic? That's not enough applause for magic. Let's hear it for magic. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip. Hooray! Up the magic drum.
Yes.
Lived by the sea, frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little jacket painter loved that rascal Puff. Brought his strings and sealing wax, and for Tom that was enough. Puff the magic drum lived by the sea, everybody, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Yarrow. Everybody knew the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout perched above Puff's gigantic tail. noble kings and princes who bow whenever they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Hawaii. Aye, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Hawaii. Dragon lives forever, but not so little girls and boys. Painted wings. Now look, Armando, I'm singing the song.
I'm sorry.
Come on, I mean, would you give him a drink so he can come on?
I'm sorry,
Dragon lives forever, but not so little girls and boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jacket Pepper came no more. And Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the land called Hawaii. He's still there now. Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Hawaii. And how many
Get ready, okay?
must a man
It's here.
No, wait, not now. We'll turn the two so she can see me.
All right, hold on.
And when I finish with the song, we'll sing.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
Oh, she can see me, but not you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy 70. Happy birthday, dear Tabby.
Young 70.
Okay, back to blowing in the wind. This is the song. Thank you.
Okay, now you can go on to your
Thank
other
you,
song.
dear. Thank you, dear.
Love you,
In
Mommy.
1960, I love you, Mommy. Okay. Tell me when you said goodbye. Okay. In 1963, there was something called a March on Washington. The person who spoke there was Dr. Martin. Would you turn that off now?
Yeah. Fine.
Just try.
Okay.
I know, right?
I'll wait till you've turned it off.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it on? So, in 1963, and I'm speaking to the crew, there was a song that was sung at the March on Washington where Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. And this song said really the heart of what the march was all about. Because people of color at the time in the United States were inheriting a even more severe legacy of slavery than you see around now. There was a lynching once every 3 days. If you were in Washington, D.C., you could not use a public water fountain or a public bathroom unless it said for colored art in our nation's capital. So we've won some great battles. But while we're here in the presence of the Statue of Liberty, we have to remember that in every generation we must win new battles to preserve what is best about this country. How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fall before they're forever banned? And you say the answer, my friend. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friends, the answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Here we go. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Very nice, Peter. Very nice. Peter, thank you.
This land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest. Wait. We have to say first, before we do that, great thanks to the crew, to Tom, and to Armando.
Yeah, Tom, thank you.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip. As I went walking the ribbon of highways, I saw above me the endless skyways, I saw below me the golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Here we go now. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the red forest, Gulf Stream water. This land is made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on that sign it said no trespassing, but on the other side it said Latinos welcome. It said
There we are.
Muslims welcome. It said Italians welcome. It said Irish welcome. It said LGBTQ welcome. It said El Salvadorans welcome. It said Hondurans welcome. It said Jews welcome. Holy shit. Because it said this land is still made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. Can't ever stop me as I go walking down Freedom's Highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back, 'cause this land was made for you and me. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the red forest to the Gulf Stream waters, singing this land is made for you and one more time. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land is still made for you and me.
Have your drink, Mr. Yarrow.